Morning everyone, Nick from Meat Smoke Fire here. Live cook 29. Next week is 30, so we'll celebrate with something. A cake maybe. No, we're doing, hang on a minute. We've got Chief over here with sound up. We're hearing ourselves come back. Anyway, so yeah, so next week we'll celebrate with a cake. Not that we haven't done a cake every week, or every week recently. This week we are going to do 3 cooks again. We're going to do Huevos Rancheros, some basically a Mexican tomatoey spicy dish with eggs on the top, a brunch recipe. And I think Paul, Mindful Belly, it's one of his favourites. I assume that's the one that you meant was your favourite. So hopefully he's watching. We're going to do some empanadas, so mini pasties essentially. So we're going to do 2 different types of those. I've already made one filling, we're going to cook the other, and then we'll cook the pasties themselves. And then the last thing we've got is a raspberry, almond and pistachio cake that is already cooking. So we'll take that off, tell you how we did it and so on. We're not going to do all the mixing bit. We did that last week with the pumpkin and so on. So anyway, let's do the intros as usual. On camera.
Morning.
She's still here.
Yeah. And I'm dry.
And it's not. Look. Oh, blue sky. So
chilly.
Andrea, or Porg as we call her. We keep getting told off for calling her Andy. That's what the kids call her. Shouldn't do it. We call her Porg. Porg stands for person of restricted growth because she's so tiny. Anyway, we all call her Porg and we always have. We got Helena and Mama over here.
Morning.
So Helena is watching the live feed and doing the typing. Mama's over here. She's going to make some pasty bits later on when we've finished. So, and there's Andy. And I'll hand you back, Andrea.
Thank
Paul.
you.
Right, so let's get cracking. So I've got 3 eggs. On this first egg, we're going to do one of the fillings. So we're going to get that going. So I have a pan in there. This egg is about 180 degrees. It's direct heat. I'm going to put a tiny weeny bit of oil in there, the tiniest amount. And then I'm going in with some steak mince. Now, I'm going to talk about this. I'm going in, nice and hot, break it all up. What I like to do with steak mince, when I'm making like a spaghetti bolognese or a chili con carne or these empanadas, is to get the mince in there, to get it cooking and get it in a cast iron pan and cook it until it starts to crackle, till it starts to spit. And that's basically when the outside of the meat is turning brown. It's not burning, it's turning brown. The proteins are caramelizing and you're cooking the outside. It's the Maillard reaction if you want to look it up for science. And when you get to that point with that mince, that's when you're getting all that flavor. So you might have seen really trendy at the moment to do what they call an over the top chili, where you make a big ball of chili, you make a sauce and then you put a rack over the top and you put the ball on over the top of the sauce and just let it smoke. Everyone claims you'll get a lot more smoke. I think it's utter rubbish. What you're not getting though is you're not getting the Maillard reaction, that lovely crispy, the meaty, beefy taste on your beef. So when you crumble that big ball of chili in, you've lost out on that. But when you're cooking a chili in the egg, because it's wet, the smoke will stick to it anyway, and it's going to be lovely and smoky. So I don't like the over the top chili. I prefer to do it this way. So all we're going to do is brown this off. Now you'll see I've got a tiny amount in here. We're only going to make probably a dozen, maybe a few less of these little pasties, little empanadas. So you don't need that much mince. This is about 250 grams. And all I want to do is drive off all the water that's in there. The fat will break down and then you'll start to hear it crackle and you'll start to hear it go brown. And at that point, I'm then going to add the other ingredients. So I've got some spring onions. I have some chili flakes to give it a bit of spiciness. I've got some cumin to give it some earthiness, and then some salt and pepper. So I'm going to keep it really simple. So while that cooks, are there any questions?
No.
Who have we got on this morning?
We've got Gareth from just around the corner.
Hi Gareth, good to have you on. First time, is it? I don't know, maybe. Lives just out the back here.
So, charcuterie says you need some andouille in there. I think that was Paul.
Yeah, we do. So thank you. Yes.
Susan.
best induja in the country. Dutchy. Tell us how to pronounce it. Charcuterie. I don't know. I've never asked him. So Dutchy, I say. She always says douchey. Sounds wrong. Sorry. Susan Stoneman on again. Morning, Susan.
Brother.
My brother's on.
My sister Sarah's on.
And Sarah, hung over this morning, Sarah?
Sarah from Rosen Rock.
Sarah from Rosen Rock. Hey, Sarah. Good to have you on. How's the house coming on? Seen some pictures, looking good.
Oh, Carlos has just joined.
Morning, Carlos. How was the golf on Wednesday? No, I do. I know the answer to that. I couldn't play. So, any hangovers? So I'm just giving it a stir while we wait for that. Get in there, and can you see it starting to brown in places? That's what we want. We just want this water, moisture to be driven off, and then get some of that brown in there. The mild reaction going on. You're right. I should have put some Induja in there. Poor planning.
Tom is cooking big green eggs cooking burgers on the big green egg today as part of his Duke of Edinburgh.
Oh, well done, Tom. So Tom, my nephew, cooking burgers on the big green egg for his Duke of Edinburgh. Brilliant. Get on it. Who else? What other kids are cooking today? And what are you cooking? So I'm just going to turn this up a bit. Speed it up. Right. Starting to get there. You see we're getting some nice brown on there now. What you'll hear in a minute is it will start to pop and crackle, and that's what I'm after. So, perfect. Right. Any questions?
No questions.
Perfect. We've got a cake on the end. The cake, all 3 eggs on. The last one has got a cake. We've got this raspberry, almond and pistachio cake. We put it on about 30 minutes before we went live. So we've got about 7 or 8 minutes left to cook. Might take a bit longer, might not. We'll see how it's going. It's at 200 degrees down the end. These 2 eggs are sitting at 180, 200 degrees, and we're going to fry in both of them. So we might crack on with this as well while we're at it. So exactly the same setup, direct cook. I've got the small cast iron skillet in there, and I'm going to drop in some chorizo. So this is a spicy chorizo, and we'll get that starting to sear. It will pop out enough of its own oil, so we'll get that going on while we get on to that. To that, I'm going to add tomatoes. We've got some chopped tomatoes. We have a little bit of onion, but not a lot. This is about half a small onion, quarter of a big one. We've got some chipotle chili flakes to give it a kick. We like that. We've got garlic. We've got some salt and pepper. We've got some tomato puree, a couple of eggs that will go on near the end, and then some coriander right at the last minute, and a bit of balsamic vinegar to give it a bit of sweetness. This is my take on Huevos Rancheros, so I love it. I had it first in Vegas, so which I bet is where Paul had it, because I know he goes there quite a lot. Right, now can you hear it? Starting to get that crackle, starting to get the brown. I'm going to keep that going a little bit longer. What I'll do, I'll add the onions to it just to soften them up a little bit. So they're just spring onions cut up. I'm going to get in there with it the cumin, so it's about a teaspoon, and the same of chili seeds, chili flakes. And we'll just get this warmed up and get that going through. Right, well that's smelling good now. Now that cumin is sweating off, salt and pepper. Don't think I need quite as much as I put in there, so.
Someone's cooking using a Let's cube tomorrow. What's the inspiration for a roast?
Using their Let's cue, so that's the rotisserie, inspiration for a roast. Dean. So Dean, we did, you might want to practice your Christmas turkey. We did one last week. During the week, worked really well. So go and get yourself a turkey, frozen turkey, defrost it overnight, try that. Obviously chicken works really well. A couple of chickens back to back work really well. How about a porchetta? I'm going to get this wrong. Yeah, porchetta. Got it right this time. Is Mark on to correct me? Yeah. Franco's probably on as well to tell me off. Got it the right one this time. So porchetta, awesome. Bit of belly pork, roll it around, a whole load of sage, some apricots, some pine nuts, all of those things, roll it up and then put the skewer through it and do it slowly. That is absolutely a winner. So yeah, porchetta, do that. Right, I can hear this popping. Right, that to me is enough. Now we're not going to put any liquid into our pasties. We're just going to do it like that. You can see the mince is browned. Hopefully you can see that on the camera. I'm just going to get a set of gloves.
Lexi's cooking tikka masala today.
Oh, nice.
She's got inspiration from our cook during the week.
Well done, Lexi. So the recipe's on the website. You will love it. That's my other niece. Right. Yeah, you can get that. So what we have.
Oh, that smells lush already.
Yeah. So what we have, it's just short crust pastry. I've got a spoon over here.
Oh.
I think.
Oh, while Helena's out, Matt Griggs has just posted, postman just been with my Thermapen. Ordered
Brilliant.
yesterday afternoon. Can't get much quicker than that. Thanks, guys.
No worries, Matt. Yeah. Put that in the post. You're only just down the road, I have to say. We could have almost delivered that one, but no, it went in the post. So, right. With these, so we're going to take some of our filling. I'll only make 3. Now, you don't need tons here, so there's going to be a lot left. But what you want to do, get a teaspoon, just over a teaspoon, into the middle. We're going to get some water. So I just do it with my fingers. Just put a smiley face on it. And then fold them over. Put them together and then
Make it look pretty.
Make the edge look pretty with a bit of a fork. I'll leave this one on here for a second. I'm going to do 3 and you'll see why in a second. Let's do this one. Right, same again, just do that and just help it stick. Fold them over, try not to get the filling in the seal, doesn't matter if you do on all of them.
That's a good comment. I like that.
What's that?
Mrs. Meat Smoke Fire's comment about empanadas.
Oh, what's she done now?
No.
I don't get to see the comments.
You can read it to me.
Mrs. Meat Smoke Fire has said that she's made so many friends when she's taken empanadas as snacks to gym competitions and picnics, etc.
Oh yes. Yeah, when we go and see Sol competing in the gym. Sol, our nephew, is part of the England gymnastics team, so we go and see him. Right, so I've got 3. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to move these off to the side for a sec. What I will do before I do the next stage is stir that chorito. So come and have a look at this, Andy. There, look at that. All the fat's come out. It's all going nice and golden. That's not far off at all. Right, spot on. Come back to that in a second. Don't let me burn it.
Okay.
So, what we have, bit of egg to egg wash them. You could do it with milk. We've got a lot of eggs at the moment.
Unnecessary comment.
I've got 2 pastry chefs in the kitchen who can't separate an egg, so these are all the results. So I'm just going to give these a little bit of an egg wash. I'll do the 3 that I've done in a minute. I'm not the tidiest, which you all know
Really?
anyway. Whoop.
Oh.
Hello. Who was that? We're going to get Mama to make the rest afterwards. But that's why she's out here, sitting in the cold, waiting to make pastries off camera. Right, those are our first lot. So I'm just going to give them a sprinkle of, and these are black sesame seeds. I'm going to do it to my hand. Now you could just use normal sesame seeds, but I thought I'd put black ones on a few of these. These ones, by the way, are cheese. The vegetarian ones. So I made these originally for Beth Long, who did a class. I think we made these. So Beth's vegan, so we made these with vegan cheese, I guess. And these are our 3 meaty ones. We'll do some more meaty ones, so I'll egg wash those, and then we'll get back to the Huevos Rancheros. And just so I know which are which, I've got normal coloured sesame seeds for these. Just gives them a bit of, oh, that's our cake. Right, so let's go over here. I'll put that on in a second. So, nicely smoky. Let me stop my watch beeping. Nice and smoky chorizo. So into that, we're going to put in tomato puree, about a tablespoon. Always a good idea to fry off your tomato puree. Don't know why, it makes it just taste nicer. I'm sure Franco will know.
Okay, so I've got a question for you.
Right, in going the it's quite hot, so in going the garlic. This will take seconds. Right, yeah, question, and the onions.
Can you talk a little bit about storage for the egg and feathers over winter? Do I need to cover the egg to protect it? And can the cast iron do it straight out?
So storage for your egg and your cast iron and everything. So over the winter, use it. Don't store it, use it.
Don't forget the cake.
Don't forget the cake, yeah, okay. So, sorry, let's just get these on. So storage, I'm not the right person to ask because I'm lazy, and if you look behind me, if Andy shows you, I've got a sort of like a surface tree on the wall, and all mine just stay out in the rain. Not a great idea. Right, I'm going in with the tomatoes.
That was a lockdown chore.
Yeah. Can I get another tin, please? I don't know why I only brought one out. Yeah, chopped tomatoes. And then I'm going to put in some, just to give it some smokiness, some crushed chipotle chili. I think these are Waitrose, or oh no, it's not Sainsbury's. It says so on the front. So going in with some of that. But they're they're smoked, dried smoked jalapenos. So we're putting those in. I'll get that stirred around. I'll get one more. Now you could put peppers in here if you wanted. I'm keeping it quite simple today. Right, thank you.
Let's get the cake.
Yeah, cake, I know. Right, we're going in with the tomatoes. And we'll leave that just to bubble away now, just to infuse all those flavours. Cake. You give me grief about the cake. I need my oven gloves.
So Mark from Smoked Fine Foods is frying tomato puree gives the same Maillard reaction as you get on meat.
Oh, there you go. So if you didn't hear that, Mark from Smoked Fine Foods up in Newcastle. Oh.
Hello.
Now that egg is on. It is at 200 degrees. So that's good.
Oh, lush.
Do we need to do a wobble test or anything on it? As I've always say to you, I'm not the person who makes the cakes. So yeah, I've got a thermopen. We'll see what the middle is. 95 or thereabouts is always a good place to go. 90. 94, 95. I'm calling that. Perfect. Let's pop that on that rack. And then this egg is at 200, which is the perfect temperature for our empanadas. So, let me grab these bad boys. So while you're baking, you may as well wait to make some of these. How do they look? So they're going to go on for about 15 minutes. Off the top of my head, I can't remember. I should have read the recipe, shouldn't I? I wrote it. Right, so they're in. So let's have a look at these. So yeah, Mark from Smoked Fine Foods up in Newcastle said the reason you do the fry off the tomato puree is exactly the same reason as we fried off the beef. It's the Maillard reaction taking place. So it's just creating those sugars, turning them again, taking the proteins, turning it to sugars, and then caramelizing them. So getting a bit of extra flavour in there. Oh, that looks nice. So, how are we doing on time? We're shooting through today. Right, so let's add a bit of salt and pepper to that. Sorry, I covered everything out because we up in cling because we put it all out earlier and I don't want the birds eating it all. So a bit of salt going in, a bit of crushed black pepper going in, spice it up even more than that chorizo already did. A spicy chorizo, and we've got the chipotle in there. This is going to be spicy. We could put a bit of pepper in, as I said, to give it a little bit of yellow pepper or green pepper to give it a bit of contrast, but we'll leave it like that. Let's cook through. And then in about 3 or 4 minutes, we're going to put the eggs on the top, and I've got my lime juice. So So I'll put that in now as well. So it's just half a lime, just juicing it into there. Just a bit of acid, basically. Dishes, you need sugars, you need acids, something sweet, something savoury. Get them in there. Lovely. Right. Get that out of the way. That's to go. Perfect.
So someone has said, any tips on cooking a curry on a kettle? That's from Barbecue Brand.
Yeah, any tips on cooking a curry on a kettle? Cook your meat separately. So have a look on my website. There is a recipe for Parmjit chicken tikka. It's the one we made. We did one in the week. We spun it on some skewers, but you can do it by just doing it on a normal grid. That will work fine. Cook it separately and then cook the sauce. And there is a chicken tikka masala sauce on there that is to die for. It's one of the nicest curries. And don't think of it as a boring tikka masala. It is really good. And I didn't finish the question on the surfaces, did I? So on the surfaces, I'm really bad. I've got them all hanging on the wall there. But the best place to store your stuff over the winter, if you're not using your egg, is inside your egg. Put the cover over, put all the surfaces inside, and they should be fine. If you, I'm going to just jump behind you, Andy, and show really nasty. If you then come back to them in the spring or whenever you next cook and they look a bit like that, don't panic. All you need to get that back to normal is a piece of aluminium foil. I'd scrunch it up and then rub it on here, a bit of oil. So foil, knock off the worst of it, bit of oil going on there, get it nice and hot and season it, and that will look brand new again. There is a video on my YouTube channel that shows doing exactly that to cast iron surfaces and also to cast iron pans like these. If you leave them out in the rain, don't panic. So, but the best place, if you can't put them inside in a shed or wherever, put them inside your egg. But yeah, that's where. Or if you're like me, you just leave them outside, let them go rusty, and then get them back to normal. Right, let's have a look at this. Oh, it's bubbling through nicely. So we're just thickening it upwards, thicken it up, chucking on the charcoal. Looking good. Right, I reckon we might put the eggs on there now. See if I do better than they did. Give it another minute.
So we've got people cooking harissa lamb shoulder.
Harissa lamb shoulder being cooked this weekend. That sounds good.
Beef Wellington.
Oh, beef Wellington. We love beef Wellington. I don't do it with the mushroom duxelle. I normally do it with a chicken liver pate, but then wrap it in Parma ham instead of crepes. But yeah, we do love a beef Wellington cooked on here. Stunning. Don't know if there's one on my website. It probably is.
So someone has also said, can we have another look at the beautiful storage rack?
Oh, yes.
Mr. Smith from CP Smith Stoves.
Oh, well, Chris from CP Smith Stoves, excellent big green egg dealer in Fakenham. It's just an old sleeper that I cut. The top ones are nice and neat,
Yeah, we will.
and then we got bored trying to cut them with a normal saw. The three of us did it. It just takes forever. So the bottom ones are less neat because we did them with a chainsaw. So the top ones took about an hour each, and the bottom ones took about an hour so 5 took 5 hours, and the bottom 15 took about an hour total. But they're nowhere near as neat. So, but what you do is you just need to make sure they're wide enough that certain surfaces will go in there. So we like that. And then I've just put a little notch at the top to hang the top bits of the expander system. Works for me, and it is bolted to the wall. Yeah. Oh look, we've got Mama making.
Good on you, Mama.
Actually, sorry, someone wasn't cooking beef Wellington. They're suggesting that you cook it next weekend.
Oh, you want me to cook a beef Wellington? Oh, well, my brother-in-law and Sarah and Sol and Lexi have requested that I make them a beef Wellington for click and collect for Christmas, because more than likely we're not going to be with them if this carries on. But that's what they want for Christmas Day, but they want mine. So I've got to make it so that he can then cook it on my barbecue in his house. How does that work?
Oh, and Sarah's just gone, yes, and loads of exclamation marks.
Right, let's get the eggs in here. So we've got this bubbling away nicely. split them, egg goes in on the top. Look at that, I didn't break them. What's up with you two? There we go. We could put a third one if we wanted, or a fourth. We might go and get a couple more eggs.
You want a couple more?
Yeah, I think we've got space. Since there were 4 of us, we may as well put 4 on, I guess. Beef Wellington we'll do one perhaps next week. That's a good call. That's a really good shout. Oh, it's an expensive shout. Maybe I'll charge for these things. Anyway, right, let's have a little look-ski. Starting to puff up a bit.
Oh, we didn't put a timer on for these, did
No,
we?
we're all right. We're good. I've got the Egg Genius, by the way, running this egg, so I know it's exactly at 200 degrees because I've got the Genius doing that. It's a little fan unit that fits on the bottom, so but you can do it normally. When I'm doing cakes, I like to use it because I like it to be exact. But yeah, right, let's get a couple more eggs on before this. And why have Sainsbury's started putting eggs back in plastic boxes? Yeah. That's 3 in without breaking them, girls. And there's the 4th. Right. So now we're just going to bake this. So you've got that lovely tomato, chorizo, and chili sauce. We've got the eggs going in there, and we're going to shut the lid and we're going to bake them. So that's going to be about 5-10 minutes, something like that. Right. Mum has made even more of those. I'll bring the cake over.
Apparently Tesco's are doing it as well.
Why is that? So here's the cake. We'll fight that out of the tin off air, I think.
That's one of my favourites, that cake.
Oh, it's delicious.
I can probably do that.
No, don't mess it up on camera. Right. Any other questions or any other suggestions? So beef Wellington, that sounds like a good idea. We did have somebody in the week ask for a full roast dinner on 1 egg on the expander system. So I know we've been asked that a lot. We will do that. So it'll either be that or beef Wellington maybe the week after, see when the weather's best. But yeah, we can do those. What sort of cakes would you like? Susan Stoneman, you should look at her recipe. She's the master of the cakes and the bakes. Southwest Cook of the Year a couple of years in a row, I think. So maybe Susan should suggest a cake that we could cook one of hers. Anyway, so yeah, any other questions, Helena?
Can we do Turkish food one week?
Can we do Turkish food? Who's that come from?
Andrew Lauren.
Oh, I thought so. I'm sure he asked me that offline at one point, and we can give it a crack. I'll own up, I've never been to Turkey. What is Turkish food? A kebab? No. Yeah, we'll give it a go. We'll have to do some research. So yeah, you said it live, Andrew, so yeah, that could work. Any others while we wait for this to cook?
No, oh dear.
What?
Neil Dickinson,
Yeah.
late and hungover.
Oh, morning Neil. Late and hungover, that's the best way. It's all right, these are all recorded, so it doesn't matter, does it?
So
So-
ask more,
And you don't have to own up to being hungover when you're watching it recorded. Anyway.
more fish recipes.
More fish. Okay. Yeah.
That's come from your brother.
We've got yeah, my brother did ask me to do more vegetarian recipes as well. They're trying to do meat just once a week, I think. So so yeah, we'll do that. We did so last week, if you watched, was all vegetarian with the pumpkin and the cake and everything. So yeah, we'll try and do more vegetarian and more fish. Okay, that's cool. We've got that. We did get a request for a monkfish curry a few weeks ago, and we have got the monkfish. So we will do the monkfish curry. We've also got some lobster tails. No, we've done those. I just wanted to see Andy's face because she loves the lobster. So we bought 2.
Excellent.
So I think there are 3, Andy. You might be all right. Let's have a look how our
I might
eggs
not
are
be
doing.
here.
Oh, how are they looking? So what we do need to get these cooked. Oh, they're not far off, I'd say. Oh yeah, they're good. Right, 1 more minute. No, let's take them off. Let's get them off. So, yeah, if I just let's just clear my board 1 sec, and then I'll get them on. I'll put them up here.
So more pizza, someone else said.
More pizza. Get those out of the way. Push those down there. What I will do is, where's that metal? Oh, it's underneath those, isn't it? There we go. Put that on there. Right. So I first had this, and this is, I haven't put the balsamic in there. I'll just drizzle it around the top for now. Little bit of balsamic to put a bit of sweetness in there. So we've got the saltiness, the sweetness, the acid. That's why I was struggling earlier with my 3 things. Bit of balsamic. It's about a tablespoon. You're going to get these off. Take it over there. Just going to grab a bit of coriander on the top. I'll just take a photo of that one. It's better than the photo, better than the one on the website.
Don't forget the empanadas.
Yeah, haven't forgotten the empanadas. Bit of a spoon.
Oh, panettone. That's going to be a challenge.
Oof.
Okay.
So there you go. Oh, it was looking good until I did one last big splodge. To make the plate look better.
And a couple of people have asked for tartiflette. I actually don't know
Oh.
what that is.
Helena won't like that. So, 1 Huevos Rancheros. Who's going to eat that?
Nice.
Oh, go for it.
Let me go and have a look at this. So tartiflette is basically potatoes and lots of melted cheese.
Okay.
It's a bit like it's a recipe that comes from the Jura region of France, I believe.
Yeah.
Tend to eat it a lot while skiing.
Okay.
It's really really lots of gooey Gruyere in there. You'll have some what's it called, reblochon, is that, and the other cheese. Anyway, lovely. Let's have a look at these. All browning just. They're looking nice. I'm going to give those another 2 minutes while we have a go at that. Okay. Going to cut a bit of this bread now. I haven't made, my sourdough starter isn't too active at the moment, so this might look like a house brick, but we'll find out. Oh, it's not the best. It's not bad.
Oh.
We'll take that. So, big bit of toast. So all I'm going to do is chuck that on the egg for a second, each side, and we'll serve that with our, that's not too bad, could be better. We'll try it. Any other questions while we're waiting?
No, someone else. They've had a request for pecan pie.
Pecan pie, she doesn't like that. It's not going to happen.
None of us really like
Sorry.
nuts.
Andy doesn't do, Andrea Porg doesn't do nuts. I was for Andy. Sorry.
What else have I missed?
Right.
Oh, people are saying they think the bread looks good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to revive it. It's not the best. It was a bit rushed, that one. Turn it around. I'm not hiding it. So, but let's get these off. Gloves. So, both of those 2 cooks were indirect. Obviously, this one was direct. Sorry, this was indirect. So we've got the plates that are in there. What I'll do, it's probably the easiest way.
Ooh.
Gonna lose that one.
Oh, you got it.
There you go.
Nice.
So, and I'll chop them in half in a minute so you can see what's in them. Take them over.
Yeah.
Take the cake out.
While I'm at it, I'll just pop these ones on.
Oh, look at that.
I like this slightly over.
Don't let me forget those. Right. So these ones were cheese. Ones I put on the top. These are cheese, spring onions, toasted sweet corn, paprika, and a bit of, I think that's it. So those pasties, so a nice little melted cheese filling. And these, let's do the big one, are our beef ones. So there you go. Could maybe do with a little bit more. That pastry's not quite cooked. I'll pop these ones back. Made that really difficult now, haven't I? We'll do that in a minute.
Don't forget the toast.
Yeah. Let's try this. Toasting, oh, they're nice. Oh, and you've got the cake out. Perfect.
Yep, done the cake.
How is that, Mama?
I haven't tried it yet.
Oh. 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 There we go.
Thank you.
Tuck in. These are delish. Sorry. So, I better have a drink. Hang on a minute. Losing it today. So, quick recap. We've got a raspberry, almond and pistachio cake. Friand, isn't it called?
Yeah.
It's delicious. We've had it before. We love it. We've done Huevos Rancheros, so with chorizo, tomato, the eggs cooked on the top. That's what we're going to have for our brunch with a bit of toast. And then we've got the pasties or empanadas. So we've got two types here. There is a third type on my website that uses chicken, which is equally good. So we've got the cheese and toasted corn. So with the corn, all I did was take a tin of sweet corn, dried it, colander, and then put it on one of the eggs in a cast iron pan just to toast the outside of it to get a bit of caramelization on there. Then mixed it with spring onions, some paprika and some cheese. Delicious. And then the others that you saw me make are the mince, spring onions, bit of chili in there, bit of cumin in there, salt and pepper.
Has it got a kick, Mum?
She's found the chili. So,
I need my handbag.
don't ask.
No.
Anyway, so hopefully those are good. We will look at doing next week, doing either a full roast dinner or the beef Wellington. I've got some venison. So hope we did last night, by the way, we did a moussaka with the shoulder. I don't know if you saw in the week, we did I did a shoulder of muntjac deer, and we cooked it under oil. So confit it essentially, took it out, broke it up, and then we put that into a sauce and made a moussaka. I thought we'd added a few Asian spices, but they hadn't really gone into the muntjac, so we then put that through a sauce and it was delicious. So I'll put a recipe up for that. If you ever get given a muntjac shoulder, they're only tiny, so but it made loads. So we'll get that recipe up there. What was it? I can't remember where I was going now.
Oh, you said you've got venison for a roast,
Oh yeah.
maybe?
So so we won't make. Some years I use a full-size venison fillet, and I do a venison Wellington. I served it for Christmas one year and called it Rudolph pie, and Porg behind the camera wouldn't eat it because it was Rudolph pie.
No,
so,
you can't eat Rudolph.
Yeah. Anyway, so more for me. It's delicious. But muntjac fillets are they're almost like about the width of your finger. They're tiny. So Ruben, who gave me the muntjac, I mentioned the fillets, and he said, I've taken them off for you, but they are tiny. You know, they are, yeah, a couple of fingers wide maybe at the most. You couldn't make a Wellington out of those, but we'll do a Wellington. I'll get the turkey, hopefully, recipe up this week. We rotisserie to turkey, worked really well. I actually enjoyed it, and I don't like turkey normally. So I was really pleased with that. We did a video on it, so it's got a butter and garlic injection, so hopefully I'll get that going. And then the only other thing that's new this week is I'm trying some Big K applewood charcoal. So that's what the cake's been cooked over. Big chunks, nice. So yeah, giving it a go. That's what this has been running on, just to see how it's cooking. I know it's not big green egg charcoal, but just thought I'd give it a go. Normally with Big K, what I've found is the inside of your egg tends to get covered in white ash. There is no white ash in here, so I'm so far really pleased with it. I'll put a link up. Marcus, who runs one of the other groups, has put a link up to get 15% off that at the moment. So I think that 12 kilo bag was 17 or 18 quid. I had to buy 2 to get free delivery, but I bought 2. So reasonably good value as well. So otherwise, pretty much everything's back in stock at Big Green Egg bar the rain caps. If you need anything, just give me a shout. I can quote you and get you all of those for you with a little bit of discount maybe. Anything else we had to mention? Next week, 30th live one, so it's got to have a cake. I think that's about it for today. So yeah, I'm around most of the week, not playing golf obviously, not allowed out. So yeah, if you need to get hold of me, give us a shout. Usual thing, nick@meatsmokefire.co.uk, or phone numbers on the website. So all right, thank you for watching. Hopefully you're all going to have lovely cooks this weekend. Let us know what you cook. Tag us, show us what you've been cooking. Hopefully we've inspired you to try some new things, and we'll see you next week.